back to another episode of Well Behaved, where we unpack sobriety, womanhood, current events, pop culture, and the messiness of life. I'm Bree.
And I'm Carter.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome back to the pod.
Welcome back to the pod, episode 10.
Episode 10, we've hit double digits.
We've hit double digits. We took a week off. She's been OOO.
Yeah, you've been OOO. We also, we almost are at 100 followers on Spotify on our podcast, which is super exciting. And we are at like 1,800 listeners.
Oh, look at us.
I know.
This is how it starts. This is how it starts. Before we make it big, you guys are lucky to be in now.
This is what I always think. You're lucky to be in now because then you get to be that annoying person in 3 years that's like, I've been listening to them since the beginning.
No, exactly.
Like, yeah, you have, girly.
Remember that meme that was so funny? It was like, you guys should be so thankful that you're following me now where I'm humble, I'm reachable.
Right.
It's like,
we're humble and reachable right now, but in a few years, we're not going to be.
the money will change us. Just everyone, just know that.
I hope the money changes me.
When the money comes, which it has not yet, when it does come, it will change us. Just know that. So just appreciate us as we are now because we will never be the same.
Right. Right now, I'm in so much debt. When I'm not, you're going to fucking know about it.
No, the second I cash the first pod dollar, I'm going to start acting different. Okay.
No, literally. I will say I did feel a little sad last week without the pod. I just didn't feel totally like myself. I felt like something was just off with me. And so it's good to be back.
No, I needed an outlet for all the current events, the pop culture that no one else cares about. Like,
Yeah.
this is the place to chat.
It is. And boy, do we have a lot to chat about today. But first, I want to hear all about your trip to Hawaii.
Okay, Hawaii was fucking amazing. I literally, before I went, I kept saying, I was like, people rave about it. Like, people are kind of crazy for Hawaii. Like, I can't imagine that it's that great. It was amazing, I will say. There's something about it. It's just so nice. And like, the vibe is just like so surfer islandy, you know? And obviously gorgeous, stunning. Staying at the Four Seasons probably did not hurt the situation. So all in all, it was just amazing. It is quite the trek over there. But
you know who is from Hawaii? One of the sexiest men alive and my favorite person maybe ever, Mr. Barack Obama.
Barack Obama is from Hawaii?
You didn't know this?
I didn't. How did I not know this?
Barack Obama's from Hawaii. He grew up in Hawaii. And that's why
Wait,
like,
that's so random.
Coolness.
Okay, I mean that couldn't track more actually. Another thing about Hawaii, so for some reason, I know, I just listened to Snarkbait Pod's episode on Kelly Teller.
Okay.
And they got married in Hawaii, but they got married at the Ritz on Maui, but there's this restaurant. So did you know that Miles Teller a few years ago got jumped at a Hawaii restaurant for allegedly not paying like a $60K wedding bill? And he got beat up at a restaurant. Him and Kelly claim that it was a random assailant and it had nothing to do with an unpaid bill. But the assailants claim that and apparently that's like a Hawaiian thing. Like there was a story recently where a guy got beat up by some locals for like kicking a seal or something.
Fair.
So apparently if you wrong the Hawaiians, they will jump your ass. So.
Miles Teller also, something happened because I lived in San Diego for a while and he used to always go to PB and go out and something happened there. Maybe he got kicked out of a bar. Something happened. He's like known to cause a little bit of a ruckus.
Yeah, I definitely I don't know. There's definitely some kind of weird energy going on with the two of them.
For sure, yeah. And actually, let's hop on that when we get to pop culture because I have a few other couples that I need to discuss. I'm so glad that you had fun in Hawaii and now you're in Miami for work. So you're just a little busy bee.
No, literally 5-hour flight to LA, red eye to New York Saturday, flight to Miami Monday.
Obsessed.
Best club, another club.
And tell the listeners, like, how is it being sober in Hawaii?
Oh my God. Hawaii is just like this kind of trip, like luxury hotel, luxury vacation, doing all the things that I want to do, outdoorsy stuff. Like it was the type of trip that it had everything that I want a trip to have. So it's not like, no shade, like a bachelorette, a wedding that's like a weekend of partying with your friends and all of that. Like it is truly just a week of relaxing, shopping, hiking, laying on the beach, like all the things that I like doing. So like I truly was I had this thought so many times while I was there. Like, I was so happy to not be drinking and not be thinking about, like and I was even thinking about, like, whenever I'm on an airplane, I'm like, "I can't believe that I used to sit here and drink a bunch of drinks and, like, get off and feel so disgusting
I
and,
know.
like, wake up on vacation, like, not feeling good after a couple glasses of wine, letting a night get out of hand with my family." I just like, it's so much better. I'm sorry.
It is so much better. It really is. And I will always like I think the biggest life hack to not feeling bad about not drinking on vacations is the shopping. Like if I feel like I want to drink, I just go shopping.
I literally like, I'm shopping, I'm tanning, I'm getting like, again,
So
it's
much
just
dopamine. You're getting so much dopamine anyway.
yes, like, you don't need I never feel like, "Oh, wow, I really need a drink right now to, like, get through this." No, because 'cause you're already, like I'm already doing things that are making me happy, and I am glad to not be drunk and then hungover doing them, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. I love that for you. And then when are you
So,
in Miami till?
I'm in Miami until Saturday morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So and then I have, like, literally no trips, nothing planned for the foreseeable future,
Okay.
which I'm very excited about.
Okay. I love that. I
What
have
did you
well,
what
go
did you
ahead.
do this weekend?
Ask me because I'm ready to say it. I got Botox. I got Botox for the first time.
Oh my god, the skin is looking tight.
Look, I can't move my forehead, and boy, have I never felt more alive.
It's a rush, isn't it?
It fucking is. So I've been
Yeah.
doing masseter Botox for like a year because I have TMJ and I clench my
Mm,
teeth. So I wear a night guard, but I also do masseter.
yeah,
To be honest, I don't really fucking know if it works, and it's really expensive.
yeah.
But I did notice it slimmed my face down the first few times, and I was like, "Okay, that doesn't hurt." Um, it also probably lined up with the fact that I wasn't drinking anymore.
Right.
But so I was with my friends on Friday, my 2 friends, and one of them had just come from getting her Botox. And I am such an easily convinced woman to do literally anything, hence my, like, alcohol and drug addiction. And
Mhm.
so they were like, "Oh, you should definitely get Botox." And I was like, "Okay." So I just, like, went the next day and got
Baby,
Botox.
it's booked.
Baby, it's already booked. They hadn't even finished uttering the words, "You should do it." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm in tomorrow with Rachel at noon." So I got it done, and they were like, "It's gonna take 2 weeks." No, not for this face.
Mm-mm, no.
I can't
Not
move
for
it.
this face.
I can't move a thing. And even today, like, I've been, working with clients and giving them therapy, and I'm trying to, like, look like I'm really interested, and then I'm realizing it just looks like I'm squinting because my forehead doesn't move anymore, and I'm completely okay with it.
No, I'm obsessed. I'm, like, addicted to it. I it's so it's probably good that it's so expensive because that's the only thing that holds me back from not getting it literally every 8 weeks.
No, yeah, and so I have to go back tomorrow to get my crow's feet done because they couldn't do it because I had this, like, weird thing going on under my eye, I don't know what it was, and so that's gone now. So I'm ready to rock. I don't wanna look like Joan Rivers now, but
Yeah.
again, you're gonna know when the money comes because it's gonna be written all over my face, and I mean that literally.
No, literally, I'm gonna be the second that first pod dollar drops, I'm gonna be unrecognizable, just know that.
No, actually. And I'm gonna become a little bit mean, so watch out.
I'm gonna be walking a little taller, that forehead's gonna be frozen, that rhinoplasty is gonna be paid for.
Right, exactly. Can't wait. So let's dive into pop culture. We have a lot to talk about. The first thing I just want to get out of the way, I love Dua Lipa and Callum Turner. Okay. My close personal friends know that nothing grinded my gears more than when Dua Lipa was dating Anwar Hadid.
Oh my god, what a I forgot about that,
Oh,
holy
it
shit.
kept me up at night. Like, Mr. Anwar always looks like he has the suds, and I was like, Dua Lipa cannot be with him." And they were together for way too long. They broke up.
Fucking
Thank God.
Anwar.
Love her and Callum Turner. Can't wait to see the wedding photos. Love her vibe. But what I need people to start clocking is, like, what's real and what's fake, right? So love this whole, like, campaign they're doing for their honeymoon. They hired paparazzi for that. So let's not pretend that, like, these honeymoon photos are organic honeymoon photos, right? He's in the running to be James Bond. They're the most famous they've ever been right now. They're
Right.
capitalizing on it. So people are seeing these pictures of them on their honeymoon, and they're like, "This is the blueprint. This is the blueprint." Like, they're posting the highlight reel, okay? And they hired a paparazzi person to come take these photos of them. So we need to just be
Like,
cognizant of that. I feel like girls were like, I'm sobbing, like I'm so single. And I'm like, this is staged. This is,
I
I'm
was just about to say, like, baby, these are staged.
stage as hell. She's not laying on top of her husband reading a book.
I do really laugh at that meme that's like, everything I pray for happens to Dua Lipa.
Yeah, everything I want, God triples and gives it to Dua Lipa.
Yes, that makes me laugh every time I
And
see it.
it's
I'm like,
true, don't get me wrong,
it
but,
is
like,
true, yeah.
you girls need to stop feeling bad because no one's I mean, unless both their love language is physical touch, but I don't know.
True, aligned.
So that's all I have to say about that. With that, I do agree that Miles Teller and Kaylee Teller they kinda give, like, Maha energy.
Yeah, yes. I don't know what I can't, like, put my finger on what it is, but it's definitely something.
The one thing I always think about them is that they had the most gorgeous, gorgeous home in the Palisades.
Oh my god, wait, yes. Okay, literally, I feel like you see so many celebrity homes, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's nice, like, would never want it to be mine." Their house wouldn't change a thing.
The interior design is the blueprint.
Wouldn't
Like,
change a
it is
thing.
I mean, wouldn't change a thing, or the poor thing it's gone, and I think
Yeah,
they had just finished designing and renovating it, and, like, anyone
yep,
listening, you need to look up their house because it
it's
is
gorgeous.
once again, when I look like Joan Rivers, my house is also gonna look like that, so
Apparently, her pajama line, her polyester pajama line is, like, the colors and patterns are supposed to be, like, after their house and, like, the design of it or whatever.
okay.
Just an aside. Just a
Just
fun
as a side.
fact.
Okay. Did you listen to Emilie Kiser's interview with Jay Shetty?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What did you think?
Okay, did you listen to it?
I did.
Okay, I thought it was good. She's saying and sharing what she's comfortable with. I did like the piece about having, like, the deepest type of empathy for Brady and what she said about that, because I feel like I see a lot of comments that I mean, I've never had children and I've never lost a child, like, but I just see a lot of, like, I could never forgive him. I would never stay with him. I would never trust him again. And like she is saying, she's like, you don't know what you would do. And like, you're with this person who is the only other person in the world who's going through this with you. And also, like, I feel like for her to be able to say, there is no way in the world that you can say 100% of the time that you have never let your child out of your sight. Like, drownings happen to people every single day.
Yeah. I thought that
From
was especially cruel when people were commenting
yeah.
on her stuff, saying that it's like they shouldn't have let that happen. Like, I don't have children. I was a nanny for years. I lost the kids a few times. Like, you take your eyes off kids all the time. That stuff can happen
Yes.
in a split second.
Yeah, and I thought she made a good point about that. That's like the part that I do blame myself for is not having the other precautions in place. And she actually said, she said the best thing that you can actually do for safety is to acknowledge that you are not going to have eyes on them all the time, and not the worst thing you can do is assume that you're a perfect parent that will have eyes on them 24/7. What you instead need to assume is that you're not a perfect person and you're not a perfect parent. What can I do to make sure that things are safe if my attention is gone? I felt like that was a really, really important point because that is a lot of the comments that I see. And so I was glad she touched on that. I was glad she touched on forgiving Brady. Again, could have been her, and the fault was in the precautions that they didn't take that were both of their responsibility. So I thought
Right.
that was really, like, I love that she touched on that.
She is quite emotionally mature because I always forget she's like,
Yes.
what is she, 25?
Like 24 or 25. I'm pretty
She's
sure
young.
yes. Like,
Like,
it's insane.
that's very emotionally mature, and it just makes me think that
Yes.
their relationship was on really, really solid ground when it happened. It makes me think that they had a good foundation because
Yep.
I think a lot of people could say, "I would never forgive my husband," whatever. Well, it's like, well, you probably have a slew of resentments against him to begin with about how he cares for the children. But
Yes, exactly.
if you don't have those resentments and this is like a one-off situation and you know he's a great dad and he's super attentive and he's always helpful,
Yep.
then I'm sorry, I would be able to forgive someone for that.
And I think that's exactly right, is like, she's coming from a place of not, "I knew you would do this because you are not attentive and you don't watch the children correctly." Like, if that's your foundation, you probably are gonna have a hard time forgiving him because he did the thing that you constantly nag him about or whatever. But she clearly is coming from a place of, "This is a person who I know loves and takes care of the children well and made a mistake that I could have just as easily have made.
Right.
And I felt like that was just chef's kiss.
Absolutely, and I was really, really glad that she went on Jay Shetty's podcast to do this because I know that, the rumor mill was spinning, but she kind of confirmed through her, like, reposts and likes on TikTok that Alex Cooper had asked her to go on Unwell right after it happened because Alex Cooper is, like, an ambulance chaser and a tragedy
Yeah.
chaser, and she didn't go, and I'm glad that she went on Jay Shetty's instead.
Yeah, and I thought he did a good job, and I thought he, like, kinda said all the right things to her about, like, I don't know, just how, like, kind and warm and, like, I don't know. I just felt like I felt like he asked good questions.
I did like the one thing she said, just from, like, a mental health counseling perspective at the end when she was saying, like, because I think it's awkward, right, when you're grieving something and someone passes away, you don't quite know what to say to the person, but she was saying, like, the least helpful thing that people say is, like, "They're in a better place," and she's like, "My son's not in a better place. He was 3, 4 years old. Like, he's meant to be here. He's meant to be growing up and living his life." Like,
Yes.
it's not helpful to say that, like, it's hurtful. So, I thought that was I mean, I don't know that that's something I ever pull out of my arsenal to say to people, but it's
No, yeah, I
no.
hope that people know that, and I feel like it's kind of like people do the spiritual bypassing thing where, like,
Right,
they're just, like, kind of doing, like, they're placating you, but it's like, "No, I actually want you to, like, address what's actually happening, which is that he died, and it's tragic and sad and shouldn't have happened."
exactly.
So, yeah, I loved it. I love her, and like you said, I think she's super emotionally mature and just, like, doing the best she can, and I love her.
I love her too. Okay, should we talk about Summer House last night?
Okay, I couldn't watch. I've gotten the I've gotten the gist, but the Peacock watchers can't watch till the next day.
The Peacock watchers need to strap up and get YouTube
No,
TV.
I was about to say, I think it's time. Maybe that's a pod expense, the 89.99 a month,
Once we get our first
because
sponsorship.
we need to be watching this shit in real time. No, I do need to go back to YouTube TV because I literally got it all set up last night. I got the iPad out in the hotel, fucking sat down, went to go look for it, and I was like, "God damn it. I can't watch it till tomorrow."
So let me run you through it then, okay?
Yeah.
Starts off with Amanda and Lindsay having a conversation.
And this is filmed after the reunion.
20 days after. So Amanda and Lindsay are
Gosh.
talking, Amanda's sobbing. She's basically saying that, like, our argument that we said a few weeks ago that she has ground to stand on, and she could say, like, "I was in this abusive relationship. I didn't know who I was.
Yep.
I didn't feel joy." And that is what she said. And Lindsay even said to her, she goes, "This is exactly what you should have said at the reunion. Like, there's merit
Mhm.
to what you're saying." But then
Yeah.
she was saying that, like, she was feeling so good with herself, and she was with Wes a lot because, like, he was inviting her out, and she wanted to go out and have fun, that she like, the lines got blurred between whether she was just feeling good and having fun or whether that was attributed to Wes and whether they had feelings for each other. So, basically, Lindsay discloses that Wes said that Amanda was the one pursuing him, and Amanda's like, "That's not true." So, this is kinda weird, though, because this is all before she goes to Italy.
So
Then
wait, Lindsay said, or Amanda is saying that West was the one pursuing her?
yes, and Wes told Lindsay, "Amanda's the one who pursued me."
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay, so she's like and Lindsay's like, "He's gotta go, whatever," and Amanda's like, "Yeah, I know." And
What?
Lindsay had a great line. She was basically like, "You fucked up so bad that you let everyone in the world forget how bad Kyle Cook was as a husband. Like, that's how bad you fucked up." So then it but
So true.
then the craziest part of the episode was it pans to West and Kyle having a conversation. Well, West walks into the apartment that Kyle and Amanda used to share, and their dog who I'm assuming the dog, like, barks at people a lot because he didn't bark at West and or she, whatever the dog is, didn't bark and was, like, licking West, was all over West like they were buddies, and so Kyle's like, "Wow, my dog seems to know you really well." Like,
What?
as if Wes has been to the apartment very many times, and Wes is like, "I've never been to this apartment." And Kyle, you can tell, is, like, getting annoyed and, like, grabs the dog and is like, "Get my that's, like, my child, like, get whatever." So, they talk.
Oh my gosh.
Wes is wearing the most disrespectful outfit you could ever possibly wear to go to apologize to your best friend and new girlfriend's ex-husband. He's wearing, like, a pilled black sweatpant and an oversized black T-shirt with a camo hat that's, like, rested just above his head, like, it's not snug on his head, it's, like, rested above it,
I've heard enough.
and there's a big dent in the front of it. So no, Carter, it was too much. So then he's like he basically says, he's like, "This isn't gonna make it on the air, but this is gonna be my last time on TV." Like, he knows he's getting booted from Summer House, and
Mm,
he basically says a whole lot of nothing. He says
classic.
he's loved and cared for Amanda for a long time, but pretty much it's a what do you call it? A nothing burger. He says nothing.
Big fat nothing burger.
A big fat
Yep.
nothing burger. And then we pan to a conversation with Sierra and Miha, who is bizarre, okay? So, Sierra is being normal, but Sierra's clearly going through it and still hurt by all of this. Miha's like, "Me and Wes still talk all the time. We talked on the phone for 6 hours." And then she's, like, saying that, like, she was staying at Wes's apartment all summer, every weekend while he was at Summer House, and he'd be like, "I'll see you when I get back."
I Okay, hold up. Also, 2 things. If I'm Amanda and my new boyfriend, who I just blew up my life for, is on the phone with for 6 hours
Yep.
with his last flame.
Yep, and she said, "We don't really text anymore, and now we only call." And Sierra said, "Why?" And she said, "Because of her, because he doesn't want Amanda to see the texts."
Okay, I don't like that at all from Miha. What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. So everyone's like, "Yo, why are you still talking to him? Like, this guy fully was cheating on you, lying to you all the time." And then she put out some long tweet and was like, "Haven't we ever, like, needed validation from an ex?" And everyone's just like, "Save it."
No, dude. Literally, how old are these people?
How I'm
It's
more concerned about how West is doing this to women.
okay, and it's just I'm cracking up that he's talking to Mia while he's with Amanda.
Like, he's some womanizer. But then all this is happening, and then he just goes to Italy with Amanda, so I'm just confused.
I'm just I am not gonna be able to move past that because again, like, this whole thing, like, sometimes people meet and they're just it's the love of your life and you end up together and blah, 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 like, West can't even say he is in love with Amanda, he can't even he's talking to Miha for 6 hours on the like, what is she doing?
6 hours on the phone?
6 I'm really hung up on that.
It has to be an exaggeration.
Why would Amanda be okay with them? I to me, like, he should have been like, "Oh, I never spoke to her again."
Amanda basically said that she has, like, no self-worth and that she's scared of being alone. Basically, that's what she said. So that happened. I will say back to the Alex Cooper of it all is that Kyle made a comment to West and was like, "Amanda was gonna fly out and go on that podcast, and I convinced her not to do it." And I was like, "Oh my god, that was totally unwell." And Alex Cooper was once again capitalizing on someone's tragedy. But
Oh, that's wild. I wonder why. I mean,
because
she needs to go
Kyle
to some therapy.
yeah, Kyle was like, "You haven't seen the season, you haven't seen the reunion. Do you really think it's smart for you to go talk on a podcast where you're probably gonna say all the wrong things and, like, incriminate yourself
Yes.
more?"
You should almost, like, wait for the reunion to die down, wait for the episode to die down, get some fucking feedback, listen to it, and also break up with your womanizing, borderline abusive. I mean,
And they both
did
haven't
we
watched
ever
the season, West or Amanda.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I can't believe you wouldn't watch it to see how it was edited and, like, to understand, like, how people are viewing you. That seems
I think
crazy to
that's a
me.
crazy thing to not have watched it at all.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a crazy again, especially when you're in the thick of the drama and, like, you don't know how you're being portrayed.
Right,
It's weird.
right. It is weird. So, to be quite honest, I'm really happy Summer House is over because I need my peace back and I can't talk about them anymore.
No, I know, I cannot, we're done with it, and hopefully the next time that we have to talk about it is when they obviously eventually break up.
Yeah, which, like, who knows that when that'll be because it seems like she's just gonna let him do whatever he wants, so.
God bless. I did wanna talk about the Hannah Nealman Vulture article.
Okay, so I finished Yesteryear.
Okay, so I need to read it. I started listening to it, and the narrator is fucking insufferable,
Okay. It's
so
a
I need to
really
get
good book.
a okay, that's yeah, because I kinda gave up on it because I, like literally was like nails on a chalkboard, the narrator, And so I'm gonna do the thing that I always do, which is buy the audiobook and then also buy the hard copy, so
Okay. So the book is phenomenal. If anyone hasn't read Yesteryear yet, highly recommend. But they basically are saying it's loosely based off of Ballerina Farm. And you can
uh-huh.
definitely see that when you're reading it. Like I was reading it and I was like, is she going to sue? Like I feel like they
Yeah.
really ripped off a lot of her life. But then as the book trails on, it's clear it's not about her. Like it's almost like a sci-fi. But
Uh-huh.
what did you think of the article?
I Like I always say, in my opinion, big fat nothing burger. I thought she skirted so many questions. Like, I mean, the yesteryear question is a perfect example. What did she say about that? I mean, she basically every single question is like, I don't know. I stay in my own lane in my home. I don't worry about that. That was
Yes.
every single answer.
She basically was like, yeah, I've heard the noise about Yesteryear. And basically she's like, that's just what happens when you have eyes on you.
She has no thoughtful, like, analytical answers. She's done no reflecting or anything. Like, her answers are so surface. Even, like, the question about, like, what can the government do better to support moms? And she's like, "Well, at our" I don't know if this was actually this question, but she's like, "At our company knows that we're family first, and if you're at a football game you're not available." I don't know, it was just, like, fucking weird. I was like, "Okay, that's great that you let your employees go to their kids' activities, but that's actually not what the question is talking about at all."
Right, it's, like, a much more deep rooted than that, especially
It's
as someone who champions themselves on, like, building a beautiful home with children. You have what does she have, 8 kids now? It's like, I
that
feel
was
like
another thing that freaked me out about the article. She has 9, and she would not say that they're done.
I just don't see why it's necessary to have that many children this day and age. And I only say that my mom's one of 10.
What?
Yeah, my mom's one of 10.
What? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, but, like, Irish Catholic from New York City, from Queens, like, just
Yeah.
but, like, none of them went to college and stuff, and it's like, I know her family can afford to have 9 or more kids, but the fact of the matter is, quite frankly, you can't be having that many kids and giving each one the attention and love they deserve. Like, you can't
Yeah.
you can't be giving them the individualized attention that a child needs. You just can't, even if you're the best mom in the literal entire world.
And it's funny that you say that because literally one of the questions in this article was like, how do you make sure that you spend individual quality time with each child? And her answer was basically like, the kids have plenty of people to hang out with. They hang out with each other, they hang out with their siblings, they hang out with me, whatever her fucking husband's name is, Daniel. I was like, that actually doesn't
Not
answer the
how it
question at
works.
all.
And I listen, I'm not a mom, but I've worked in schools, I work with kids. Like, kids need a lot of freaking attention, and they need, like kids are emotional, and they need their emotions held, and they need to be looked in the face and, like, known that they're seen when they're struggling, and I just don't see how you could do that when a kid struggles pretty much on a daily basis about something, and you have 9 of them struggling at once. It's just that just seems unrealistic to me.
Yeah, like I feel like this article really was every interview she's ever done is exactly like this, where it's so surface. It has no critical thinking and not like anything whatsoever. She's just like, I don't know. This is what we do in our home.
Right,
And that's all that's all that's top of mind to me.
right.
Like, why are you doing interviews? Like,
Right. I think what I would have wanted her because right, I'm not in the business of like wanting to critique someone's life choices. I would have wanted her to like stand 10 toes down and be like, "No, this is how I do this. This works. Everyone back off. Like this is how I spend time alone with my kids. This is how I take care of them. You guys have nothing to worry about." Like, but she doesn't say that. And it's like if you're gonna put yourself in the limelight like that and put your kids in the limelight, you need to be able to speak on the fact that they're being cared for and like, why you're doing the things you're doing.
yeah, and, like, I do appreciate that she acknowledges or points out because I think people are like, "Well, you're a trad wife," and she's like, "I'm really not a trad wife, like, I raise children and work," like, because that's, like, a whole big thing about the trad wife thing is these people are basically, like, performing trad wife stuff. I mean, I still don't think she does a good job of acknowledging, like, I know it might look like I am, but I want people to know, like, I do work and I built a business and which I think she kind of tries to do, but she just always misses the mark to me.
Well, yeah, I don't think the olden day clothing and like the old wood stove from the 1800s helps.
No, it doesn't. What did the article said that her content has been called subtle propaganda that encourages a patriarchal ideal of regressive womanhood. Like this is the kind of like analysis that I'm looking for about the situation. And I just, I don't know if Hannah Nealman just doesn't think about things that deeply or that critically, or if she does, she's not interested in sharing those thoughts and feelings and views
Right.
with any interviewer she's ever met with. Um, but again, big fat nothing burger.
And before we wrap on pop culture, this just brought something else to mind that happened last week that we couldn't talk about. Nick Cannon has welcomed his 22nd child. Did I send this to you?
No, I did not see that.
Nick Cannon needs to be stopped. Nick Cannon, if you're listening to this, you probably are. What the fuck is wrong with you? 22
What the
children?
that is, and like that, and Bree, I can't remember her last name, but Bree from Selling Sunset, who has a child with him. And just like the way that she tries to portray, like, this is what works for us. Like, babe,
You have
this
22
is
fatherless children. I'm sorry. You're not fully present in 22 children's lives.
22 is crazy.
It's intentional.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's
it's an
it's
act.
like compulsive at this point.
Yeah, he's a sex addict. He's like a baby making addict.
He's a baby making addict, and that's not what you want to be.
No, definitely not. It's freaking weird. So Nick Cannon, get it together. It's freaking weird. You're creeping us out. Okay. On that note, we are going to move to our guest. Stay tuned. We have a very exciting guest coming on. All right, guys, we are so excited because we have a very special guest with us. We have Rachel Hechtman with us. She is the founder of Sober in Central Park. She also does sobriety coaching and hosts different non-alcoholic events in New York City. And we're so excited to have her here with us. She's become a friend of ours, and it's been so fun. So welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on the pod.
Like our fourth.
Yes.
I'm so honored. I know. I love that you guys just decided to you were like, we have an idea, and then you just did it. Like a lot of people talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and don't actually do. And it was actually really inspiring to me to see you guys be like, we have an idea. And then you just started. I love it.
That is literally how it happened. We were like, should
That's
we
literally-
order microphones? And then we just did it.
Ordered mics, downloaded the thing, and we're like, well, guess we have a podcast now.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to do it sometimes, or else you just talk in circles and it never actually happens, you know?
Yeah, and it just like gets better each as you go, because you could talk about it and think about it and plan.
Yeah. And you kind of just
Yeah.
have to do it to get the practice to then know what works, what doesn't work, and get your flow. And I'm just honored to be a guest on on your first season.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
First season.
Yes. Okay, so dive in a little bit. Tell us about your story, how you started Sober in Central Park. Give us the rundown.
Okay, so I got sober. Actually, it's almost exactly 5.5 years ago. That on July 3rd, it's going to be 5.5 years, which is wild to think about. But time kind of flies when you're sober a little bit. But before that, I was a hot mess express all the time. I was honestly a very low vibrational human. I was depressed. I was anxious. I didn't want anything in the future. I didn't really have goals. I was kind of just always going through the motions. And I didn't really find joy in a lot of things except for drinking, partying, going to raves. I saw the same people over and over. I sat in the same places doing the same things. I was unhappy with the way I looked. I was unhappy with my friends. I was unhappy with my relationship, with my job, with literally everything. I just complained all the time. And I thought I needed substances to have fun. I never imagined a life, number one, where I was sober. Number two, where I had my own business. I still, to this day, it's been 3.5 years of having my own business. And I still am like, wait, I'm my own boss. This is crazy. How did I get here? And when I made Sober and Central, I got sober January 2021, and it was not planned. I had kind of COVID had created the perfect environment for me to kind of realize that I couldn't blame anything else for my problems. I couldn't blame my job anymore because I lost my job and was on unemployment. And I kind of wanted that. I was like, oh, great. I get paid to do nothing all day. Just what I wanted. I was binge watching TV all day, binge eating. I moved out of my apartment. My lease was up. I stayed at my mom's lake house with my now ex, which I just thought that was what I wanted, to do nothing all day and just kind of like drink and have no responsibilities. But once all of that happened, I realized I was still just as unhappy as I was before. And I had nothing else to blame except for me. And so I had this like out of body moment at my mom's lake house where I was like drinking by myself in the lake and had George, my dog, on my lap, and this guy like went running by the house. And I remember saying like, ugh, what a loser, running on such a nice day. And I'm sitting there drinking by myself like a blob in this lake. And this voice came into my head and was like, he's not the loser, you're the loser. And I was like, wait, why am I the loser? And the voice was like, well, this person's bettering themselves. Okay. And like trying to like do something good for themselves. And you were drinking alone with your dog in the lake. And I thought to myself, like, how do I become more like this guy who's running? And the voice was like, he's not drinking whiskey till he passes out on his couch every night. And I was like, if I want any kind of life that I'm proud of or that I feel good about, I have to stop drinking. And for me, like, drinking wasn't the main problem for a long time. For a long time, it was the party. It was the other drugs. It was like everything else. Drinking was just like the last thing that was socially acceptable that I was like, it's okay. This is legal and I'm allowed to do this. So that was in June 2020 when I had that moment. I was also the heaviest weight I'd ever been in my life. I couldn't look in the mirror. I like didn't even want to walk my dog. It was just like a miserable existence. So I came back to New York City and kept drinking and kept hanging out with my alcoholic friends. And then January came around and I still was unemployed because I had no motivation. I was like, I'll just take the money from the government for as long as I can. Like, I don't want a job. And my mom was like, do you want to do dry January with me? I was like, no. And she got me the book Quit Like a Woman by Holly Whitaker. And she goes, Chrissy Teigen was holding it on Instagram. It's cool. And I was like, all right, sure. So I have the book. I go out, I do whatever on New Year's and I have a 3-day hangover. Okay. And on January 3rd, I woke up and I was like, I cannot feel like this anymore. Like I felt so awful. And I also like hated the way I looked. And my sister was getting married and it was like a COVID bride situation. So it kept getting pushed back. And her wedding now was like October of 2021. And I was like, listen, I want to try to be as healthy as I can for her wedding. I kind of used my appearance, honestly, as a motivator in the beginning because for me, like, I don't know, I didn't want to get sober. Like I didn't. But I agreed to do dry January with my mom. And I also started Weight Watchers on the same exact day. Cause I thought to myself in my crazy head, I was like, well, I've tried to do Weight Watchers before. Didn't work cause I would drink the points. But like, if I'm not drinking, maybe it will work this time. I don't know. But because it was January 2021, there were no parties, there were no dinners, there were no work events, there was nothing happening to tempt me to go out and drink. So it actually created this like perfect environment of me just kind of like cocooning into my own world and not being tempted to go out. I didn't actually think I was going to make it the month, but I somehow did. I think I was just it was almost so novel and exciting, the fact of not drinking, that it was almost like I almost got like high on sobriety, like pretty fast. And I don't know. I think something was looking over me too, because I got to the end of the month and I remember going out to dinner with my friend who's an alcoholic. And he was like, okay, you ready to have your drink now? And I was like, no, like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, come on, I'm not going to tell anybody. You can just have it with me. And I was like, no, like, I feel amazing. My anxiety, like that I always had, like that tightness in the chest where you like literally can't breathe, was like gone. I was like, I'm going to see how long I can go for. I didn't make like a plan. I didn't have a goal. I was like, let's just see how long I can go. And I was starting to lose weight. I was starting to feel good. Like I was seeing changes. And that was how it all started. But like, and then I just kept going and going. And then I broke up with my ex. I was like, get out of my apartment. We're done. It was like a guy I had secretly married behind my entire family's back at City Hall. He was from Italy. So, there was just a lot of messes I kind of had to clean up. After this, I had gotten a really great job. But once I was like a few months in, I realized I had no sober community because I didn't find myself in any program because I was like, didn't think I was getting sober and there were no meetings happening, in person. So and then I had to get rid of like all my friends because all my friends were partiers, drug addicts, alcoholics. So I pretty much had no friends, and it was just me and George. I had never lived alone in my life. And I remember sending a meme about not drinking to a friend, and she freaked out. She was like, "This is stupid. Why would you send this to me?" And she like didn't vibe.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, I want to be able to share some of this content, but like I don't my old Instagram account, I didn't identify with her anymore. Like I was always posting my martinis or like what I was drinking or my like that wasn't me anymore, but I was still figuring out who knew me was. And so eventually I was doing these really long walks in Central Park. It was like it was how I stayed sober every day. Like I kind of convinced myself if I didn't walk 6 miles every morning, I was going to relapse, which is not healthy. But that was my like, I don't know. I was going in the rain with George. Like it didn't matter. We were going every day. And so I was like, I think I need public accountability. I'm going to make a new Instagram account. And in 2021, like there were not many sober Instagram people. Like I didn't follow anybody that was doing that. Like there were some meme accounts that I followed, like Sober Motivation, Drop the Bottle. Like I did follow those, but I didn't know like normal people just posting their non-drinking life. So anyways, I was so nervous, but I decided to make it. I called it Sober in Central Park because it was literal. Like I was literally like spending half my day in Central Park sober. But I didn't even know if I was going to show my face in the beginning. Like the first 3 posts are like Central Park, George like peeing on something. And like I was like not, I don't know, I was 9 months sober. I just kind of needed to it was a good creative outlet though for me. Cause like I had so much time on my hands now. I was like, what do I do with myself? And so I was making these posts and taking people on my walks, and I would like talk on my story the whole walk. And it was like really exciting for me because I didn't know my way around Central Park before I got sober. Like I was scared to even like explore the park because my anxiety was so bad for so long that like I couldn't do things by myself. I didn't do things if I didn't know exactly what was happening. I didn't want to look stupid. And so the longer I got in my journey, the more we explored the park. And then we started doing off leash, and it just became this like, I don't know, this like oasis for me in the chaos. So yeah, I started sharing, and I think my 3rd post was a side-by-side transformation picture. Like I was like, I don't know if I'm going to show my face. And then I was like, boom, let's do a transformation post. Like I'm so ADHD. I'm like, so all or nothing. But then like a few months in, I get a DM from this girl, and her name's Alex. She had an account called Sober in Seattle. And she was like, "Hey, I found your account. I'm trying to make a community of women that are like doing this. You want to be friends?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to be friends. Like, I need friends." So we became friends, and she had like kind of like found other people starting to do this around Instagram. And I got put in this group chat with like, I don't know, 30 or 40 other women. And that became my first like group of sober friends. And it was all because of Instagram. And I was like, okay, I didn't know I could make friends on Instagram. These women are awesome. And it just showed me the power and the importance of community and finding people that like understood what you were going through. Right. So, I mean, that's really how it all started. And then it just kept snowballing and snowballing. And, and now it's 5 years later of having Sober in Central Park. And I can't even believe it. Like I have my own business, and I have people that work for me, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just so grateful every single day for that version of me in 2021 that told my mom no, and then woke up with the horrible hangover and was like, actually, let's try it. So
It's so
wild. I mean, I used the page like, yes, as like it kind of encompasses everything as part of the business. But I think the main part of the business though is like being boots on the ground in New York and like networking with everybody and anybody, and like getting into these wellness communities, right? Where I was able to kind of leverage like my connections, and the rise of the non-alcoholic beverage like boom happened right at the same time as I started my account. So it was honestly timing, I think, of like these non-alcoholic beverage companies, people sharing on Instagram, a lot of people wanting to get sober after COVID. And like I hired a coach because I was like, I want to write a book, which I still haven't even started. Okay. It's been years. And the coach I had was like, "You're a coach." I was like, "I don't even know what a coach is. Like, what is a coach?" She's like, "You were made to coach people. Like, you need to do this." So she had created a certification program that was like a year-long certification program. And I did it. And I started working with people to help them get sober. And I, at first, of course, had imposter syndrome. I'm like, who the hell am I to know how to help people get sober? Like, I don't feel qualified. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I started working with people who everyone who works with me has to have a therapist because I am not a therapist. Okay. Like, and I don't pretend to be. Like, that is not what I'm doing. But it started working, and I started, like, watching people change their entire lives. Like, people that either, like, didn't feel comfortable going to traditional 12-step programs, live in the middle of nowhere, and don't wanna go because everyone in their town knows everybody who goes. Like, there's a lot of different reasons, but it started working, and I started, like, being able to see week by week people literally, like, get the light back in their eyes and manifest really cool things into their lives, and I don't know, I never knew what I was supposed to do with my life. I was always so lost, and I had been working in the nonprofit space trying to make a difference, but I never felt like that was my purpose. And when I started coaching people and working with them, I was like, it felt so aligned with the universe, with what I was supposed to be doing. I was like, I can use all my trauma and crazy stuff from my past now for good. Like, there's a purpose behind it. So it was the first, like, I guess, like, glimmer from the universe that I was on the right path. But I still never thought I would, like, be able to, like, have a life in New York City and, like, have my own business, you know? Like, I still don't know how I did that.
I feel like it just shows how many people need it, you know? And you said something interesting in the beginning that we just had Elizabeth Pearson on and we talked about this with her as well. You said in the beginning, you were like, it almost seemed a little, you felt like it was maybe, I don't know if you use these words, but like a little shallow. Like at first you were like, oh, I'm interested in losing weight. And that's the pull for getting sober. But we were talking about with her, like, whatever reason you need to get sober, just do it. Like, if it's losing weight, right, Carter? Like you mentioned that girl in LA. If it's like you see someone's life that you really want, it's like, okay, cool. Like that could be the reason. If it's like you want to, I don't know, get your ex back, whatever the hell it is, like do what you got to do. I think most people don't want to get sober at first. Why would you want that? Because it sounds awful because you don't know what it's actually like.
Yeah,
Like when I knew I had to get sober, I was like, fuck my life. I don't want to do this.
totally. I completely agree.
Reasons, like a vanity reason. The only way I know I'm going to be able to accomplish that, like getting sober just opens up so many doors to be the person that you want to be. And that can be anything. And it's different for people. And I like what you said about like, I feel like everything has kind of aligned or lined up. Like do you feel like being sober has really like allowed you to start being the person we're supposed to be?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Have never felt more confident or good about myself or sure of my decisions. Like, I am a completely different human being than I was before I got sober. And I know not everybody has that total transformation, right? But for me, like, every single aspect of my life is different, from my relationships with my family to the friends that I have to what brings me joy. Like, and listen, like, I knew I had to get sober for years before I got sober. I remember telling a friend in 2016 when we were on a trip to Italy where she was already sober. I blacked out by myself in Capri. Random men brought me back to the hotel. I woke up on the bathroom floor. Okay. And the next day we were hiking Pompeii. I wanted to die. I literally wanted to die. And I remember telling her, I'm like, why am I on the floor? And she's like, I think you have a problem. And I was like, I do. I actually know I do. I can't stop drinking once I start. And that was in 2016, but I knew I wasn't ready to get sober. And in January 2021, like the amount of weight that I had gained, I hated looking at myself, and having my sister's wedding as the goal of October 2021, like actually did keep me like pushing forward and working out every day. And like, and now I know I have to work out every day for my mental health and my anxiety and my ADHD. Right. But yes, it was a van. I don't even know if it was vain. Like, I had a pain in my side that was freaking me out. It wasn't my liver. Like, I don't know what it was, but I was freaking out about it. I like, I didn't fit into clothes. Like, I was like, this is not healthy, even regardless
Yeah.
of vanity or whatever. Like, it wasn't healthy. And so that, actually seeing the progress in the mirror too, and feeling it, of course. I mean, the feeling you can't even put into words of how good you start feeling, right? But
Yeah.
like also seeing it for me was like so helpful. Like my clothes, just I had to keep buying new clothes. It was expensive. Honestly, it was expensive, but but it was awesome.
But you have the money. That's the other thing. Like, there's so many things you're saying that I'm like, yes, yes. Like, one, I don't save money in sobriety. I've never claimed to save money in sobriety. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm buying myself cool shit that I really like. And I'm spending money on things that make me feel good and not things that make me feel like crap or things I regret. Do I regret some things sometimes? Yeah, sure. But I can just return them. You can't return your dignity loss and like all the Ubers you took and the Taco Bell you ordered at 2 a.m. But
Yeah.
the other thing you
The
said,
Taco Bell you order at 2 a.m. then fall asleep before it even comes, because that
right.
was the story of my life.
Right. That's like outside
Gosh.
being eaten by the raccoons. So the other thing you said, though, I feel like the anxiety, and I don't think people realize this, the amount of anxiety you are feeling on a daily basis when you are struggling with drinking and you are living it and you don't realize how bad it is until you're out of it. Like, I look back on how anxious I was about things and how I had ruminating thoughts. Like, I had awful ruminating thoughts about things. And looking back now, I'm like, that's so sad. Like, I was paralyzed in my own brain all the time, and it just completely went away when I stopped drinking. Like, I rarely get anxious.
Totally. Totally. Or I was honestly at a level of paranoia. Like there were certain times where I was convinced my neighbors were spying on me. I know, I'm so serious. I would like peek out the blinds and like I thought my neighbors were spying on me. Like, why would my neighbors be spying on me? I was like, and I would get really sweaty. Like I was like sweating out the alcohol. I mean, it was
I don't know if you
not
had this.
cute.
I thought about this because I had this last night, and it's the first time I've had it since I've been hungover. When I used to be hungover, I would be going through withdrawals because I would I would binge drink for like 3 days. And then I would lay in bed on a Sunday night, and I would feel like I had bugs crawling all over me. Like my skin would be tingling. And for years, I was like, what is this? What is this so weird? And then I eventually looked it up and it was like, you're going through withdrawals. And I was like, oh, perfect. But it happened to me last
Perfect.
night and I was like triggered. I was like, oh, this hasn't happened since like 2023.
That's so scary. I feel like an anxiety reaction too. Like I feel like I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I
The
just think
anxiety, yeah, I never have it anymore. Like,
And when I do, you can like stop it. Like, you know what
and
it's
it
for.
takes me back too because I'm like, wow, I used to be doubled over with this pit every day just to get like,
yeah.
No,
and how
literally.
crazy like that stress has to be so hard on your body too.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Like, Rachel, when you were saying you had when you were saying you had a pain in your side, I just really was not taking care of myself. Okay. So I have ovarian cysts, and so it's like sometimes they'll like burst, but it hasn't happened in a long time. But when I was drinking, I also was smoking an insane amount of Juul. Like I was addicted to the Juul. I was strapping. I would like have like 4 between my knuckles, like at all times. And
Same girl. Same.
they also
Yeah, same.
they give you ovarian cysts, and so
What?
No,
yes,
I have
you gotta look it
ovarian
up.
cysts. Wait,
Yep.
stop.
So I
Wait,
would
I still vape sometimes.
I still vape too. I still vape too. Okay.
on Sundays
We
after
have to have
drinking,
something.
after all the sugar of drinking and after the vaping, I would be paralyzed in bed, not just because I was hungover throwing up, but because I had ovarian cysts on my ovaries. And I'd be like, God damn it, here they are again. And it was every single Sunday. Every Sunday.
Oh my
No,
God.
also, I was also dying at you hiking Pompeii, and it reminded me of the time that I'm pretty sure I was riding camels in Morocco with alcohol poisoning. Like,
And it's
and
like these are experiences you like aren't gonna do again, and we're like so hungover, dying, not enjoying it. Like I remember, like when I hiked Pompeii, there was like a statue of a face, like looking like this, and I remember captioning it on my old Instagram, being like, "Me right now," and it was like, I was like, "That's not what I should be getting out of this experience."
no, like these are straight up once in a lifetime experience.
Like,
Yeah. It was hard to
No,
enjoy things when you were hungover. I just feel like it's easier to get through day-to-day life because I'm always like, well, at least I'm not hungover.
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, those hangovers. I mean, I honestly like a lot of my drinking was also with Coke. Like there was a lot of I was never really just drinking for me until the very end when I was super depressed and like didn't get off the couch and I didn't want to even hang out with my friends. I just wanted to drink alone and watch TV. Like that's so sad. That is so sad. And that's when I got my dog George actually because I was literally couldn't get off the couch and I just didn't care about anything. And I was like, I think I need like an animal to take care of so I can like force myself to walk it and like go outside. But a lot of it was like there was a lot of drug use for me. And like it was really I did some really dangerous stuff looking back on it. It all started in college, but like it was so dangerous. And I just can't I think back now and I'm like, how did I make it out of there? Like
I
I
think
don't
that all
even
the
know.
time. I
I
always
think about that so much, like riding in taxis and like getting home and like doing drugs and just like exactly what you're saying. Like, it's not just like, oh, it's embarrassing or whatever. Like, it is fucking dangerous.
Mhm.
so
Totally. I was like,
dangerous.
so I was a passer outer. Okay, there was called the Rachel pass out. I could literally like do a line of coke and fall asleep. I don't know. I was broken, and my friends thought it was funny. They're like, "Oh, Rachel's just passed out again." But I would pass out in like bars, in clubs, in taxis, in like pretty dangerous places to just like fall asleep.
No,
And
like that's
people, yeah,
dangerous.
but people couldn't wake me up. And my friend would have to whisper in my ear, being like, "I'm taking your drug bag," and I would pop out of my dead sleep. Like I'm not even joking. I was like, it's so crazy.
Yeah. What happened for me with the drugs and the smoking, it was like everything became tied to alcohol. And so it was like I became addicted to nicotine. I became addicted to Adderall. I eventually became addicted to doing coke when I drank, right? And it was like alcohol was an avenue to doing all those things. I wasn't allowed to do those things without the alcohol. And so in order for me to get to those things, I had to drink. And so then it just became, it was never just drinking. And then drinking was never satisfying on its own after that because I was like, it's so much more fun with all these other things.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't ever able to do it properly after that. I could never enjoy a glass of wine because I knew how much better it could be if I just like had a bag or had Adderall or like took Molly, like all these things that I
Yeah.
started associating with it.
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, I think like my ex was from Italy and he was not down with the drugs. And that's what really curbed my drug use for a long time because I was like trying to just sneak it around him. But I eventually I was just like, I can't do coke anymore. Like I had these horrible hangovers, but I did it the last night I drank. And that's really what pushed me over the edge. It was like New Year's and I was like, yeah, we're going out. And I have a picture of me just like looking crazy with the coke eyes. But no, I get it. I mean, I think with the alcohol that was just like so it's pushed on us by society, by, the signs you see walking down the street, like, everywhere we look, there's just alcohol, right? And so it's just so normalized that like you drink, everyone drinks. And so I think like sharing about it publicly and talking about it and making sobriety cool, which it is cool. Like it's cool to like remember your night, to feel good, to take care of yourself, like I used to totally think like I could not have fun without alcohol. I was convinced the fun was over. I was addicted to fun and I'm having I was literally like addicted to like trying to have fun. But that wasn't fun. Like feeling
No,
like
and it was
shit and
never
like
fun enough. It was never fun enough. Like I always wanted the night to be more fun than it was.
yeah,
It
It
exactly.
was like
became
empty
unattainable.
fun. Like, and I kind of feel like that, Rachel, with everything you're saying about like, you know, you're sitting there in the lake drinking by yourself and like that was your life. And then like just how full your life is now with your page and your coaching and your events and your networking and like community. And like it's just so crazy, like the difference and like how full your life has become.
Truly is wild. I mean, I think about that a lot and like how I'm so busy and I have all these friends and I'm doing all these things. And like I used to literally like lay on my couch and like play spades on my phone and like not even joking and like drink alone and like have a show on the background and like that was my night. Like
When was the last time you played spades on your phone?
not since I've gotten sober. I think it's triggering for me. But I was like, I got really good at it. And I was like, you could like chat with people on the app. But yeah, it was like super depressing and pathetic, like sad. It was sad. And I didn't,
That
my friends would like invite me out and I just would always make up excuses. Like I didn't even want to go. I just wanted to be at home alone, like drinking.
like getting ready to go out. I'm not spending all day Saturday day drinking, and then I'm not spending day night going out, and then I'm not spending Sunday after morning and afternoon hungover. Like that right there is 48 full hours that I have back to do whatever I want with.
Totally. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys have this app. There's an app like I Am Sober, and it tracks how much money you save and how much time you save. And I've been, conservative with my time and my money, but I've saved like it says like $60,000, like I don't know, like a year of my life. I mean, that's a
And
lot.
it's
Totally.
just you can't even think about it because
When
it's
I
just
when I first got sober, I would make lists in my phone of everything I accomplished that day. Like, I
I
couldn't
love
believe it.
that.
I'd be like, did my laundry, went to the grocery store, walked to the here, did this, blah, blah, because I just couldn't believe how much stuff like, it's like now it's just stuff that we always do, right? But I just
Yep.
couldn't believe like, it was used to be a huge deal for me to get up and go get my nails done because I was so hungover and I was so anxious and I wouldn't want to get off the couch, but I had to get my nails done. And I would be like, oh, I got my nails done. That's my task of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
I think about that and it doesn't happen as much anymore, but like when I first stopped drinking, like it'd be like 10 o'clock on a Saturday night and I'd be like, oh, like I want to go to Target or I want to go. And I'd be like, I can, because I'm not like coming home from dinner, having had 3 drinks. Like I'm not like I'm like running errands at weird hours just because I can.
I love
Yeah.
that.
It's just like weird stuff like that
Well, the biggest
that you
Totally.
don't.
misconception I feel like is that you're gonna be bored, and, like, I remember at first being bored. I remember the first few months being bored. I didn't know what to do with myself, and now I can't I can't catch my breath. Like, my husband is constantly like, "You are too busy. You have to stop. Like, you have too much stuff going on." But, like, I like it. I like being busy. I don't know, it makes me feel fulfilled. But, like, anyone listening who feels like you're gonna be bored, you're just not. Like, give it 3, 4 months, like, you're gonna be the busiest person in the world. You're gonna have and your life could stay exactly the same for the most part, but it's just gonna feel 10 times more fulfilling for some reason. I can't quite figure out why yet, but
Yeah, and I also guarantee you your life won't stay the same though. Like that's a thing because like things will change in some regards or another. Like what I always tell my clients, and this is something I'm very woo woo, okay, as we have to say in New York, because like though I'm very woo woo. Like I have my bag of crystals everywhere, whatever. I'm listening to the frequencies of the sound. But what I tell my clients too is like the quickest way to raise your vibrational frequency, and that's how we do the law of attraction. That's how you manifest things. It's by operating at the frequency of whatever you're trying to manifest. Well, when you stop drinking, you literally just raise your vibrational frequency automatically. It goes up. And that like opens more doors for good things to come into your life. And that's why when people say like the magic just started happening, doors started opening, it's because you're vibrating at a higher frequency. And so, but sometimes your friends aren't changing too, right? And so now you're vibrating up here and some of your friends are still down here. And that's where there's like a disconnect and you're like literally on different wavelengths. And then some people are like, my friends don't get me or I don't get them. And like that can be hard. But sometimes we need to like let certain things go in order to make room for things that are on our frequency to come in. Right? Like the new sober friends that you're going to make, like just get you. So I'm not saying get rid of all your friends, but like
Yeah.
sometimes like you have to go through those changes in order to like almost like unlock the next level of the video game, you
Yeah,
know?
I love that you said that because I feel like we talk about that a lot where like I know for me in the beginning I was so dead set on every single thing staying the same because like change is scary, but like your interest and what you want to do with your time and everything, like it changes a lot when you're not drinking all the time. And so I became more comfortable with things changing just as time went on and I got more comfortable with the change.
Yeah.
Um but I love what you said about the vibration too.
Yeah. No, I was the same way. I used to walk around being like, I hate change. I don't do well with change. Nah. And then I like went and changed my whole life. And I was like, wait, change is actually part of
Like
life. We have to
this is
embrace it.
actually amazing.
Amazing. Like, I'm so glad I changed from that sad, depressing person that I used to be. Like, oh my God. And like, even with my dog, like my life changed and then his life changed. Like, I was just taking him on walks around the block before. Now he's walking 6 miles off leash in Central Park. Like, he's like, wait,
Jo
I'm loving this too.
George is also on a higher vibration.
Totally. Totally. But I think like a lot of times when people stop drinking, and this is what I also see from my clients, it's like there's that messy middle and there's that liminal transitional period where you're not the person you were before you stopped drinking, but you're also not the new person that you're becoming. So you're in
Yes.
this like weird middle ground. And that's when things feel uncomfortable. And I had a coach once tell me, like, that uncomfortable feeling is literally you changing. It's you pushing your upper limit. So almost get excited when you feel uncomfortable because that's you like transforming in a good way. But it's still like no one likes to feel uncomfortable, but just like give it time because it takes a few months to like kind of get the ball rolling to become that new version of yourself, right? It doesn't like happen overnight. Like totally like the butterfly cocoon kind of, but caterpillar, butterfly, whatever situation.
Yeah.
I love thinking about it like that, that's because we talk about that a lot, how it's the transition that's uncomfortable, but then like once you get through that, like it feels amazing. But I love thinking about that as like you are literally feeling yourself changing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I have a question. What's like the most common, well, actually, okay. First part of my question. Are most of the clients you coach, are they in New York or are they just all over the country?
No, they're all over. And actually, right now, I have 4 clients. I usually only have 3, but right now I have 4. 2 are men, 2 are women, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Love
Each
this.
different,
Wow.
Okay.
like all. So but they're all going through similar things,
I was
right?
just going to say, so what's the similar theme you're seeing with all of them?
The similar theme I've seen, first of all, it's always people. They don't know what they're going to say to their friends. What do you say to the people around you? What do you do when you go to the event? What's your plan for the big function that you're attending? What do you do with the people you work with? Like it's always the conversation. And that
Yep.
changes so much over like I start with people for 3 months. That's always like how we start. And then it's what do I do with my time? How can I change up my routines? And I also give them like journals to do every day, but it's really a lot of it goes into like, what are people going to think about me,
Yep.
and what am I going to say? And what am I going to do with all my time on my hands? Those are really the main themes that everyone goes through. But it really doesn't matter how old you are or like where you are in life, because these are the same concerns that everybody has. And a lot of people just need someone to talk to about it.
Yeah, I started therapy like right when once I was like, okay, I'm ready to quit. I feel like I need some guidance on like how I'm going to do it, what it's going to look like. And I literally, all of those questions.
Yeah. Oh, and wait, the biggest one is self-talk. That is the absolute biggest thing where everybody starts. All my clients who come to me have horrible self-talk, just like I did. And
Mm.
my therapist, before I got sober, made me start saying affirmations. At first, she told me to do it, and I was like, no. And then she's like, could you please try? So I remember like standing in the mirror crying, being like, you're strong. Like I didn't believe any of it. I was like, this is bullshit. Why am I doing this? But I would still try to do it. But that's where it all started because I hated myself so much and my self-talk was so bad. And what I tell my clients is like, even if you don't believe it right now, you saying it out loud is you're telling yourself, your subconscious, that this is real, right? So just at least say it. Try to say it every day, just a few affirmations, because then you're tricking your subconscious into thinking that you do believe this about yourself. So really like attacking people's horrible self-talk is like the main thing. The other big pattern I've seen though before for a while was women who were undiagnosed ADHD. And so a lot of women would come to me. They weren't diagnosed as ADHD. They were told they had anxiety or depression. And so they hated themselves because their brains work differently and they didn't understand their brains. So they would use alcohol to kind of numb it out and make it quiet. Me, I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was 15 or 16 when I was at boarding school repeating my sophomore year because I was bad, getting into trouble. And so I've known for 20 plus years that I've had ADHD. And I kind of am like an ADHD detector. I can like talk to someone for 10 minutes and be like, I think you have it. But you need to go to get tested for it. But a lot of my clients for a while were undiagnosed women who just didn't understand their brains. And not knowing that about yourself, that's a huge thing about yourself to not know.
Yeah. There's a
So
huge link between
That's interesting.
ADHD and alcoholism. And I think it is a lot of just like one wanting to turn your brain off. And with that, being in social settings and your brain is go, 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 go. And you are overstimulated as fuck. And you probably have some social anxiety as well. Like ADHD, you want to speak, and so you just want to, that was me. And I just
yeah.
wanted to literally be comatose. I didn't want to be buzzed. I wanted to black out, like, because it was so overwhelming to me. And now I realize I don't quite like social settings like that. Like, I really get overstimulated really easily, but I didn't realize it.
I think there's like a chemical thing with it too.
Yeah.
Like ADHD people don't produce as much dopamine naturally. So alcohol gives you that dopamine hit really fast. And so we're like, oh my God, ding, ding, ding. This feels amazing. I want more. Whereas like a person that doesn't have a problem with alcohol, it's like, I can have one drink and be done. ADHD people are like, give me the bottle. I need to keep going. I'm going to drink until I pass out because my brain wants that dopamine. Right.
Yeah.
And so there really is
Right.
a huge, huge link between them. And yeah, but I think once you know how your brain works and then you can hack it. Like for me, I know I have to work out every morning and kind of break a sweat, and that's going to help my ADHD for the rest of the day, right? But like when I was drinking, not working out in the morning, you can't pay me
Mm-mm.
enough money to do that. Are you joking?
Yeah.
You know, so then the ADHD is worse, the drinking's worse. It's all like related. It's all connected to each other.
Yeah. So, one question we like to ask everyone who comes on is what piece of advice would you give someone who is at the beginning of their sobriety journey or contemplating sobriety?
Just test it out and try it out. Don't give yourself any like, oh, I'm doing this forever, never thinking forever terms. Give yourself a super small goal, 30 days.
Yep.
I would recommend doing more than 30 days because you actually really need like closer to 60 to 90 to actually feel the real effects. But give yourself a tangible goal. Have somebody to hold you accountable, like whether it's a support group or a person or it's on someone on Instagram that you can DM, whatever it is, and change up your routines. You need to find replacements for things. So you need to find replacement people, replacement beverages, and replacement things to do. So you can't just stop drinking. Like if you only remove the alcohol, you're going to find yourself in the same situations that led you to want to drink in the first place. You have to also change up your routines and your habits and the people around you, which sounds like a lot, but like it's worth it. Like I don't think anybody ever regrets getting sober. Like later, I just wish I had done it sooner, you know?
Oh my gosh,
So
everyone says that. Literally every single person
Yeah.
who's sober says the exact same thing.
It's so worth it.
Yeah, it is.
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is.
It all right. Well, thanks for coming on, Rach. We appreciate it.
I know you talk about pop culture stuff sometimes. Are we
Okay.
going to talk about what came out yesterday about the episode, the Summer House episode?
We talked about
Did
it
you-
before this,
already-
but would you like to
you talked
chime
about it
in?
before this? No, I just thought it was so interesting. Like
did you
I was
think was
ready for you guys to
interesting?
talk about it.
What did you think was interesting?
I don't know. I kind of felt bad for Amanda.
You did.
Mm.
I did. I kind of felt bad for her. Like,
Well,
Yeah, I feel bad for her
think-
because she has no self-esteem and no self-love.
I know.
and
but it was like,
I feel like Bree finally said this is the headspace I was in. This is how this could have happened, which would have been nice to hear at the reunion. But yeah, I can definitely, there's a world where I feel for Amanda.
I can
No, I
empathize
definitely
with
think
her,
what
but
she-
I don't agree with her.
yeah. No, I don't agree with her at all. I think what she did was horrible, but I think watching it and the way she was so upset, like I felt bad for her. Like
No, but then you watch it and then she goes to Italy with him a
I
week
know, and
after
spits in
that.
his mouth. That's so weird.
Yeah, spits
What
in
was
his
she
mouth. That was
what was she spitting in his mouth? I
Who
feel like
knows?
it was like a mint or gum or something.
I really want to know though, because that's just so
It
bizarre.
wasn't spit. It was, I'm sorry, I will flip the table if it was spit.
the table.
She was,
Okay,
she was shooting a mint into his mouth. She had to have been, guys. She wasn't hawking a loogie in his mouth.
Okay, other question for you guys. Do you think he was pursuing her or she was pursuing him?
I think he was pursuing her, but I think he thought she was pursuing him because he's so obsessed with himself that he thinks if any girl's nice to him, they're in love with him.
Nailed it.
I agree.
Yep.
No,
I
no,
I
agree.
agree. I totally agree.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Rach. You guys can find Rach at Sober in Central Park, and she is a great asset for anyone who is in early sobriety, is maybe a little bit scared of AA, like many of you are. You DM me about it all the time. So maybe reach out to Rachel and see if she is open for some sobriety coaching.
Please do. Or if you're having an event and want non-alc bevs at them,
Oh, yeah.
let me know.
I
All
love
right.
it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thank
having me on, guys.
you.
This was so fun.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.